Welcome to the Emerge Podcast, where Ronnie Doss shares insights regarding life, leadership, and personal development. For more of our resources, visit ronniedoss.com. Now, let's join the podcast.
Hi there, this is Ronnie Doss. My team and I are really excited that you decided to stop by. You know, I've spent the last decade working with individuals from all over the world to help them transform their thinking and enhance their life experience. Not only do I train teams at some of the most successful companies and organizations in the world, I offer coaching programs specifically designed for individuals much like yourself that are committed to increasing productivity and achieving personal goals. I've had powerful mentors along the way that have taught me principles that absolutely shifted how I was living my life, and those principles I want to share with you. My passion is people, and there's nothing more exciting than seeing a life transformed for the better. This is what I've decided to give my life to. So hop over to ronniedoss.com to check out some of the video programs I personally designed to help you build stronger relationships, improve your communication skills, and develop an intentional mindset. I know these resources will assist you in finding a greater sense of purpose, staying focused on what matters, and breaking through old mental barriers. Get ready. This is your time. So I wanted to give you a few things to think about before you even start working this week. So if you're like many people, Mondays are challenging for you. You got to get back to the grind. For some people, they're absolutely excited because they're dialed into their work. They're passionate about what they do. But for many people, it can be a struggle. And so even when you're really passionate, if you had a great weekend or for some reason you just wake up and you're not quite as excited on Monday morning to get back after it, I want to give you a few things to think about that can help you to jumpstart your week, to get back in and make things happen. So I'm going to give you 4 things really quick. Number 1, first thing you got to do is just be grateful. Be grateful that you can work. Be grateful that you've got health, that you got up, that you have an opportunity, that you got some friends, you got some coworkers, some people that you know. You're not alone. You're not in this all by yourself. There are people around you that you can connect with, and there's plenty of opportunity there. So be grateful that you can even get up and get at it. You know, I think sometimes we forget that there's a lot of people that don't get up every day. And if you consider that, right, what would it have been like if you just didn't wake up this morning? The things that you would have left behind, maybe some things that were undone. Maybe this week would be the week that you'd step in and you just absolutely crush it. So start out being grateful that you can get up and that you have something that you can do. Number 2, here's what you got to do. You have to align your work to something that fuels your spirit. And what I mean is your soul. You call it whatever you want to, but the work you're doing, it must fuel your soul. It's got to be something. It can't just be making money. It's got to be about making a difference. And so you got to figure out what that means. And so don't just get excited about earning. Get excited about using the money that you're earning, the resources that you have to create some powerful experiences for you, for your family, for your spouse, whatever that needs to look like for you, but something that as you tie it together, it stirs something up in you so that you want to get after it. You know, I think sometimes we get into this thing where it's like, get up, go to work, come home, eat some dinner, right? Get a little rest, go to sleep, get up the next day, start over. But what we've got to do is we've got to tie our work in and the resources that we create to something that's going to stir our spirit. You know, you've got to create this thing called a heaven on earth. You got to figure out what that is for you, even if it's only a half hour, right? Even if it's a half hour week that you'd say, hey, when I get through this week and I achieve this and I check this off the list, I'm going to do this for myself. Right, that could be 30 minutes to go do something you want to do. You can sit out and smoke a cigar. It's what I like to do. Many of you know it's what I like to do. I'm with the cigar. Maybe it's something you go to dinner with your spouse. You take your family somewhere. Doesn't even have to be so expensive. Whatever it is, you're going to create something, and you need to create it in your mind so you can get excited about it and know what that's going to look like. Right, you got to keep yourself motivated. You see, payoffs, what we get, the resources that we have, if we anchor it to the right thing, it can help to motivate us. Right? But when motivation leaves, we start to get bored. And when we get bored, our quality of life diminishes. And so we want to do some things that will stir some passion in us. And so we want to make sure that we're aligning what we do to the resources that we can create. And whether that's just giving back somewhere, something that you're excited about, an organization, a cause that you're excited about, whether it's using those resources to go on a trip, a staycation, dinner, take your family somewhere, buy a gift, buy something for yourself. Whatever that is, you have to align your work to that. So take a few minutes and figure out what that looks like for you. If you're just going through the motions, sometimes it's easy to forget. It's easy to neglect those things. But these are things that are going to give you a huge ROI, return on your investment of time and energy. So align it to something that you are excited about, that fuels your spirit. Here's the third thing you got to do. You got to forget what you've heard. And what I mean is we feel like that the culture of our world is changing, that there's so many things that are shifting, and so many things are so bad. It's all so bad out there. It's so negative. But let me tell you, we can get through anything. And if we can keep our eye on the prize and say, you know what, this is the work that I'm here to do. I'm going to put my shoulder down. I'm going to make this happen. And as you're doing that, you make sure you're creating a narrative inside that serves you to want to work and do your work well. And if you create that narrative, you see, what you're doing is you're listening to yourself, talking to yourself, instead of listening to everybody else. You got to talk to yourself instead of listening so much. You got to learn to do that. When you create that narrative, right, and you work to enhance it, creating better pictures in your mind, creating a more exciting story, and you understand that your life is like a movie and that you are the star of that movie, you're going to write that script well. And so forget what you hear, right? Forget about the news, forget all the other stuff, right? Forget all the topics people are talking about and saying, get to work and anchor that to something that excites you, right? Make the pictures in your mind, that narrative, make sure it's something that supports you. So forget what you heard. And then number 4, just decide this. Before you walk into your office, wherever it is that you're going to go into, decide that you're going to change the atmosphere of your workspace instead of reacting to it. You got to set the context. You got to raise the energy. You got to make sure that you're going to be the one that changes the atmosphere versus letting the atmosphere change you, right? You got to decide what that is. You got to get a clear mental picture, and you got to make that commitment. But when you will make that commitment and decide to step forward and be excited about it, as you step forward, just creating some story in your mind, some narrative that stirs up your passion, that aligns you with something bigger than just doing the work per se, I'm telling you, you're going to have better feelings, and we know that when you feel better, you're going to do better. And here's a great quote for you, and I'm going to leave you with this before you start your week. It was Richard Branson. He said, if somebody offers you a ride on a rocket ship, don't ask what seat. Just get on and go for the ride. And so this week, decide that you're going to go for a ride. You're going to make this week awesome regardless of what it is. If you're going to work or maybe going on vacation this week, whatever it is, just decide, you know what, this is going to be a great week. And I'm going to anchor to some thoughts, some gratitude, some things that stir up my passion. I'm not going to listen to any negativity. I'm going to set the atmosphere, and things will go really, really well for you. You deserve that. This is Ronnie Doss. I look forward to talking to you guys again very soon. Take care.